Okay, Dan Fitzpatrick here, stockmarketmentor.com. Market just closed, and I want to look at a couple different stocks here in the biotech sector. First of all, ADMA Biologics. This was in a nice, well, hell, it wasn't nice if you owned it at 23, but it was in a pretty steady downtrend since early November. Okay, stock peaked up here, got massive buying right up here at 20. So stock runs up again about 15% or so, and then is in this downtrend to where it's pulled the 50-day moving average below the 150-day moving average. But that was then back in mid-February, and this is now where this 50-day moving average was trending lower. Now, just over the last few days, it started to move higher again. And so now, if we were to disregard the 150-day moving average, in fact, I'm going to do that right now here. How's that for disregarding? If we were to disregard that moving average, then I would frankly look at this type of a move as what I call a touch and go, where stock looks literally like a, well, not literally, but has the sense that this is like an airplane on final approach. It's coming down to tag the runway here, the 200-day moving average, and then takes off again. Not a big dramatic thing, but it's working pretty good here. So here's where the stock was trading on the 13th, 14th, and then now it's up here on the 17th on Monday, right? Tuesday, bam, Wednesday. So this was a key move here today, and it happened on higher than average volume, probably about 25% higher than average volume. And so you could say, well, it's too late to buy this stock. And I would say, yeah, it's late to buy the stock. This was actually, I wished I'd seen it, but I didn't, so don't blame me. This would have been the better day to buy the stock on the 5th when it first poked out above the 50 on pretty decent volume. Like you saw really, really good volume here. And then the following day, we got still great volume and the stock continued. So this was actually the turnaround day. This was actually what I would call the trigger for buying the stock. Now, you had to be aware of it. Should not be the kind of thing that you can just expect to see, oh man, how did I miss that? Well, you missed it because you didn't have it on your watch list, whatever that is, however you figure it out. But you didn't have this on your list to a point where when it was trading back here, you were watching it. You weren't trading it, you weren't owning it, but you were watching it. It's like there's nothing to see here, nothing at all. And then, oh, okay, well, that's kind of interesting here. On what, the 28th, that's kind of interesting, heavy volume here. So maybe this is the low at the 200, but it's not something I'm going to buy. Okay, and it's a good thing too. Now we're up here on the 4th, and now this is getting really interesting. But again, you gotta be watching this. And so if you're looking at this on Monday, the 4th, you're going to look at this and you're going to have an alert set, say at 17 bucks or so. And then bam, the next day the stock runs up above 17 and you're in. So you're in at the appropriate time. Again, shoot, man, I wished I'd seen it, because this is actually a pretty good, it's a pretty good setup for what I call a touch and go. I also call it my moneymaker pattern, because for the most part anyway, this is a pretty good a pretty good pattern that ultimately will lead to some really nice profits. And that's what we have now. So is this too late to buy? I would say, let me put it this way. This ain't the high at 2050. Stock's not going to go down here. The question is, how far up is it going to run, say to 23 bucks, which is about between 10 and 15%, before it really hits this resistance line here. This is really the way I would look at this technically. I would say this 23.50 would be a good range to the upside, where I would say, okay, for where the stock is right now, I think it can run up here to 23.50. What what's that, about 12, 13%. And then on the downside, you're buying this stock and you're keeping a stop like right down, I'd say, frankly, below today's intraday low. So this is really how I'd be trading this stock. This is actually a different stock, obviously, same sector. It's got a little bit higher rating on IBD. This also can work, but this is a really choppy pattern where this is really a well-defined pattern. So given a choice between the two, I would say if, again, you're a little bit late here, but I don't think too late. This has some really, really nice momentum. And you look at the volume today, heavier than average volume. So I think you can still take this stock. Just make sure that you've got a protective stop to the downside. Okay, so look, that's all I got for you. If you are not a member of Stock Market Mentor, you may be kind of bummed just because the market is kind of sucky. It's just kind of crappy. But this is a time, frankly, where you can be bumping up your game and getting ready for the next turnaround. And those always happen right about the time when you're saying, you know what, there's a lot I don't know about trading. Maybe I should start learning. Maybe I should start working on some things so that I can capitalize when the market turns around. And bam, it's already turned around and you're still scratching your head trying to figure things out. So once you get over there now, you get a trial. If you don't like it, you can cancel. I won't know about it, so I can't take it personally. Karen, our customer service ninja, does that. Hope to see you there. All right, talk to you later.